Well, we're communicating daily, and yes,
Okay.
there's new information that comes out. Um, the number that you see up here, the $517,434,
Hmm.
that's a living number. It grows every single day.
Wow.
Got you.
That value goes up every single day. So kind
Yeah.
of think of it as a huge savings account. We already know what the ending balance is going to be in 2030, which is $1 million. And that's the proven number, proofed number,
Hmm.
mathematical absolute number that
Okay.
was determined to be the minimum value for XRP to operate as the provider of liquidity for the entire global financial marketplace, flat out.
Yeah. And,
That's
and
the
I'm glad you
minimum.
said that word, liquidity. Ripple, what does it have to do with water? Watch the water, guys. Watch the water. Okay. Liquidity crisis. We're going to solve the liquidity crisis. Ripple, the Swell Conference. It's all got to do with the water. Do you think maybe by chance that the 17th letter in the alphabet and Ripple XRP and the quantum computers and the satellites, all of it is connected somehow? You betcha. Absolutely.
Most definitely.
But before we get started, folks, make sure you hit the pause button. Okay, go down below. There's a Rumble link. Go over to Rumble and follow us over there. QFS1776.com is without question the holy grail of what's to come. Okay, t-shirts. You got to get yourself decorated. This way, people will ask you, what is XRP? What is the quantum financial system? What is this? What is that? And you send them where? To QFS1776.com, where they need to immerse themselves, because we're going to burn down this system down to the ground. And out of the ashes will rise the phoenix. There'll be nothing to go back to. Believe me when I tell you that. Unified TV will take over Netflix. We're bringing in the next genre of movie producers and storytellers and actors and actresses. And we're telling the story of how the world is going to be on earth as it is in heaven. Jasara Nasara is coming. Don't make no mistake about it. Gold and silver right down below. Promo code Mel Carmine. Make sure you use the promo code. Almost $8 billion in sales. We're direct to like a bunch of mints. We are the ones that can get you the gold and silver directly to your door, okay, at the cheapest price. Don't even waste your time looking for a cheaper price. It doesn't exist. Also, our Telegram groups down below. If you want to learn what's coming and you're sort of a little scared, I understand. Believe me, I was there too at one point. Our Patriots are literally waiting for you in the room. And if you need more than $10,000 worth of XRP or $1 million worth of XRP, you come see me. Send me an email at QFS1776@gmail, and we'll get you as much as you want. Well, good afternoon, folks. It's exactly 17 minutes after 2, and you know exactly which team we're on, 17 being the magic number. We got Dave Lyon, we got Susan Price, and we got the Prime Minister here. Is that what they call you, Prime Minister?
Yes, sir.
Where are you out of, my friend?
Florida.
Oh, okay. My old stomping ground. I'll be back there soon.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, some exciting stuff happening in the reevaluation world, guys. The XRP leading the charge, obviously, with the Kabuki Theater lawsuit, which it is a Kabuki Theater lawsuit, for the masses, because they're just quite not ready yet. Jasara Nasara, the ingredients can't be 99%. They got to be 100%. There's no room for errors here. Once we go, it's got to be a go. And there's no like, oh, let's do this over. No, that's not in the cards. That's why the systems are running side by side. That's why some people are going through my broker and some of the wires are going in 2 seconds. Literally, they press the button and the money's by my broker. And then some of the people saying, hey, I'm waiting 2-3 days for the wire to land, because they're running the system side by side, folks. That's why. They got to make sure they got to cut. They got to measure 17 times and cut once. But when they cut, it's got to be precision. Guys, welcome to the show. We're going to go to the Prime Minister first. Tell us what's on your radar. What's going on? When do you see this whole thing taking place? I mean, there's a lot of people getting very antsy. I'm not one guy that put dates on stuff, because that really sets the wrong, precedent, if you will. There's a lot of people who say, well, if it's going to happen tomorrow, I don't need to go look for a job. And that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? So where are you at, Prime Minister?
No, like most people, I guess I'm just observing the signs of the times. It seems like things are escalating, and a lot of information coming out from a lot of reliable sources that we are in the final stages. I can say that people that's, that I'm around are certainly saying that, we are in the final stages, and that can mean weeks, months. I feel the way to approach it, is to be wise, to not anticipate dates. I wouldn't do that. I think you should conduct yourself as you would normally until things actually change and the system changes over. Um, because where there's expectation, there's usually disappointment. And I just think that's not a good idea. Besides that, I think the returning to God is the most important thing for me. I think we're in a spiritual time. Q tells us this is biblical, and I think that's so important. I don't think we should, uh, you know, overlook the importance and the significance of the spiritual awakening that's taking place, the revival that's happening all over the country, people returning back to God. The Illuminati charter, the cabal agenda was to turn people away from God. So I think that that's the main thing. When we see these things, we should draw closer to God. So that's where I'm at right now.
Well, and there's no question that God's in charge when he hires a guy that was an atheist for a long, long time. Because, after you do this for 32 years like me and nothing's happening, you start to lose faith. It's normal. But then when he got, you take a picture of the sky and he's in the sky with the XRP logo and he guides you to the chair and you get the biggest chair, which stands out like, a sore thumb. And, this chair is now like an icon worldwide. Everybody, who's the guy with the blue chair? A gentleman went to the bank. There was a bank holiday of sort. There was a little commotion, if you will, at the bank, and he's pissed off. So he starts driving home pretty fast, gets pulled over by the cop, and the cop knows me because of the blue chair. That's pretty funny stuff. Susan, where are you on all this stuff?
Well, thank you, Mel. Thank you for having me and your listeners too. I love you all. I agree with Prime. Prime and I are very good friends, have been for years. I've been awake since, before 9/11, but that clinched it. And then the death of my Marine son, intelligence Marine son, set up by the State Department in 2009 in a battle that's connected to 2 Living Medal of Honor recipients during the Ganjgal War, the Ganjgal ambush. That I went down that rabbit hole. The Lord revealed to me all these folks are waking up to in the last 2-3 years. I saw 13 and a half years ago. And when I cried for America, not just for my son, but for America, because I saw the battlefield. But then when Trump come into office, I saw a lot. I saw the takedown of the elite before the average person did, basically because I had met President Trump and spoke on a stage in Florida. I also had to meet the devil himself, Obama, because of the high profile death of my son and his Marines. So I've been around the frenemies for a long time, fighting. I'm a truth seeker and a dragon slayer, and I stay connected. I watch the patterns. I'm intuitive. And together with my soul family and now you and your listeners, we're putting it all together to get people ready to be ready. We don't like to throw dates. We're very close. We feel it. And like I tell my 2 daughters, make sure my grandchildren have food, water, and gas in your car so you can get to the redemption centers, and be spiritually wise and prepared. So that's what I would say.
I'm guessing, Susan, you are an XRP holder. So are you, Prime, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. I have some, I don't know, lobster. I got hooked up. The team hooked me up. I don't know what it is. It's just
all right. You bought some on Lobster. There is only one F chain, I believe it is, that you could buy legitimate XRP. But me, I'm a little bit old fashioned. I'd still rather go through a real source and put it on the hardware wallets where they should be in your possession. I don't think the central bank digital currencies are going to see the light of day. This is the biggest struggle. The central bank digital currency, they understand this much better than all of us combined. They know that their turkey's cooked. They know that, Prime, I could pay you directly for that king of, what is it, king of spades on the wall. and you want $100 for it, I could send you $100 worth of XRP directly to your wallet. Do I need a central bank digital currency to complete my transaction? Yes or no?
I don't know.
If I could send it
It's
directly
not for
to your wallet,
it's
if I could,
it's not for sale.
I mean, I know it's not for sale. I'm using it as an example. If I could send it
Okay.
directly to your wallet, no middleman needed, you're going to get the money directly. You give me your receiving key. I send you $100 for that King of Spades. Boom, your money's there. Do I need a central bank digital currency to complete my transaction? The answer is no. And they know that. I'm sure that Lion knows that. Lion, explain to the audience why the central bank digital currencies are going to be DOA, dead on arrival.
Well, let me preface that with they're going to have a different purpose for a very short window of time. As you've mentioned, and other people have mentioned, these banks that we use right now, they've already been recharacterized and renamed financial service centers. The intel I just got the other day said there will not be one charge for us to use them in this interim period of time. That could be 2, that could be 3 years, and they'll be gone. They'll literally be out of business because nobody can run a business if you don't have any money. And we won't be storing money there. Think about where our money is going to be kept. Our money is going to be kept on the quantum financial system in a place that is unhackable, not subject to viruses, hackers, backdoors, nothing. And that was part of the issue. They thought that they were going to be able to steal XRP. That's why the Lord brought me to Twitter, was to help expose that. Now, we know now through intelligence that the white hats and the military have taken control. They're taking control of XRP, all digital currencies, Federal Reserve, IRS, Treasury Department, you name it. If it's a 3-letter name, they're under control. They're being taken care of. So we don't have to worry about that. Everything we're seeing in the news, on TV, it's theater. And I love the way you describe it, Mel. Give us the name.
Kabuki Theater.
Kabuki Theater.
It's
And what do we know about
Kabuki
that?
Theater?
Smoke and mirror. It's a horse and pony show for the masses who don't know any better. They don't. These people that they're catering to, so to speak, these people don't know how to buy digital assets. They don't know nothing about digital assets. Just to have a conversation, a general conversation, scares them to death about digital assets. They have no idea about Zims or Dinars. They live in a world that's completely their own. A lot of them, unfortunately, even some of the XRP Army 1.0, don't want to leave that 3-dimensional world. Me, I've been seeing this Nasara world coming at us as what is it, on earth as it is in heaven, okay, for a long time, and I see it. It's coming clearly. Why in the world would I want to waste my time talking about Gary Gensler?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
So-
I agree.
Yeah, I had the Hulk was supposed to come on my show, and he said, "Listen, there was an intermediary, a friend Marie of ours. She's hangs out with him. She hangs out with me. She likes what I'm doing. She likes what he does as well. Cool guy, like him. He sits in front of his sofa, likes to lift a lot of weights, etc. And he's like, yeah, tell him I'll go on the show on one condition: we don't talk about Nasara Jassara. You know why? Because he doesn't know anything about Nasara Jassara.
Yeah.
He's very
Well, and-
uncomfortable. I'm trying to take him out of that box to show him the real world. They don't even want to see it.
Well,
Well,
it's a very spiritual, to me, it's very spiritual. And those of us that have spiritual eyes can see it's common sense for us, but we're tapped in to the God source.
Yeah. Yeah. So, when I heard that, I said, tell Maria, just tell him that if he can't talk about the new world that's coming, the Sarjasaurus, which is very clear to the Patriot movement, I don't want to, then there's no reason to have a show. So at some point, they'll either get it or they won't get it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to twist anybody's arm. So what's the latest, Dave? Have you had any meetings with God lately? And what is he telling you as far as what's going on? Is there any new numbers on the horizon?
Well, we're communicating daily, and yes,
Okay.
there's new information that comes out. The number that you see up here, the $517,434,
Mhm.
that's a living number. It grows every single day.
Wow.
Got you.
That value goes up every single day. So kind of think of it as a huge savings account. We already know what the ending balance is going to be in 2030, which is $1 million. And that's the proven number, proofed number, mathematical absolute number that
Okay.
was determined to be the minimum value for XRP to operate as the provider of liquidity for the entire global financial marketplace, flat out.
Yeah. And
That's the
I'm glad
minimum.
you said that word, liquidity. You know, Ripple, what does it have to do with water? Watch the water, guys, watch the water. Okay. Liquidity crisis. We're going to solve the liquidity crisis. Ripple, the Swell Conference. It's all got to do with the water. Do you think maybe by chance that the 17th letter in the alphabet and Ripple XRP and the quantum computers and the satellites, all of it is connected somehow? You betcha. Absolutely.
Most definitely.
Do you agree with that, Prime?
Yeah, I just had a quick question for both you guys. I'm not an expert on none of this stuff in any way, shape, or form, but the question that I had is for people who may be skeptical, where can they go to substantiate any of these particular aspects? Like, I know quantum.gov is a site that they can go to and get some information, but in
Sure.
terms of these particular aspects, where can they go to substantiate that?
QFS1776.com is the holy grail of what's to come. And it is, we scoured the internet for years, my wife and I. We have thousands of man hours in it and trying to find the most elementary, I'm talking level, grade level of maybe third, fourth, fifth grade, where if you watch the videos top to bottom, by the time you get down to, the 39th video, you got at least a black belt, okay, on what's to come. Very simple, very easy. I don't care if you're a 15-year-old kid or a 75-year-old grandmother. You could understand what it is and what's coming. It's not as scary until you get into the room. Obviously, then they start talking more advanced lingo, but at least you'll get a good base of what's here. Plus, we also found the actual document, the original document, which you can download at QFS1776.com under Jasara Nasara. There's the original document that was written back, I believe, in 1958 with the farmers on Jasara Nasara. We have it. Okay. Plus, we have another website there called that we link to. It's called QFS2020.com, which is the most accurate thing out there, other than the actual document itself that you can download. Plus, they got their own videos there. We cover it all. When I say it's the holy grail, I don't say that lightly. I say that because I got people calling me from Sweden, Germany, all over the world, Italy, say, hey, I want to copy your website. I want to translate everything over into Italian, into German, into Swedish, whatever. Can we do that? Absolutely. Knock yourself out. I'm not here to save the whole world by myself. This is too big of a world to save for one little guy with a big chair. You know what I mean?
So, yeah, you're very thorough. You're very thorough, Mel. Thank you for all that work.
So, yeah, we put that together for a reason. We knew this was going to be complicated. Look, when we got into this thing, almost 8 years ago, and I sold, 120 pounds worth of silver, and we came back to the bank and said, hey, we got all this cash. What are we going to do with it? My wife, I said, hey, the one really is XRP. It's not Bitcoin. Because I was sold on Bitcoin, down with the man, down with the institution. I bought into that BS. And so with that said, when I sat down and I started watching a few videos, which my wife forced me to, she's Asian, she's very sharp. And I was like, yeah, she's right. So we went and tried to send the money, put the money in the bank. They said, where did you get the money? Long story short, they wouldn't take the money. We had to go to another bank where we could deposit $2,000 a month for a few months until all of the money was deposited. And then we went back and said, okay, now we're ready. Ready for what? We're ready to buy XRP. They said, oh, no, that's not allowed. So then we had to wire the money from Banco Costa Rica back to Bank of America, true story. And then from Bank of America, we had to wire the money into Lithuania, never knowing whether we're going to see our money or our XRP ever again.
Wow.
Yeah. And we waited for like a month to say, yeah, we're sending you your XRP. I'm like, woohoo! That was our first purchase.
That's a walk of faith.
Yeah. Then we had gotten involved with a few people that connected us to my broker over in Europe, Australia, UK, etc. And so then it became real easy. But, we've been at this for quite some time. We know what this is. We know how this movie ends. I'm not going to put a date on it, but we know When you're talking about moving all the money on earth, we're not talking about moving a couple of dollars here, guys. We're talking about graduating from a world of 5 quadrillion in movement of money. I'm talking about government to government, corporation to corporation. Remittances alone is a $6-7 trillion a day market. You think you're going to move $6-7 trillion a day with a 39-cent coin? Come on, really? Let's be real. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you start to use some basic mathematics and you start to understand the Jasara Nasara, the universal basic income, not the one where you're going to have nothing and you're going to be happy and you're going to get, $500-600 a month, which is barely enough to maybe have maybe a piece of chicken every other week. Okay. Not that UBI. I'm talking about the UBI that's going to be very generous from Jasara Nasara. When you start to calculate the fact that most of Africa unbanked, most of India unbanked, most of Southeast Asia unbanked. When you start to do the calculations, it is staggering the amount of money that's going to be moving in this new world. And that money, all the money is going to be moving through XRP, the 99,000-pound gorilla, the one that's got the lawsuit, the one they don't want you to look at, the one they don't want you to pay attention to, the Kabuki Theater lawsuit.
Yes.
27,000 tokens out there, and only one has a lawsuit. Well, that's the one. It's simple, I'm sold on that fact alone. That's because they don't want guys that look like you, Prime, and guys that look like me, and guys that look like Susan or Lion to become the next ruling class. I think it's a little too late for that.
Yeah, a little bit. The meek shall inherit the earth, as the Bible says.
Yes. Take it over, Lion, because I could ramble, boy.
Well, there's a couple of really, really, really cool things. Remind me to talk about the comparison to 1955. Okay, that's important. But what I want to do is I want to kind of finish the first part that I started. Okay, we know that this theater, this Kabuki show, is about protecting XRP. Now, let me take it one step backward. Okay, Jed McCaleb, he mints the coins, all the coins, 100 billion in May of 2012. XRP becomes valid or birth date, June 2nd, 2012. We roll forward. Brad Garlinghouse becomes the CTO in 2015 in April, and then he becomes the CEO the following year. There's been several videos out there. One of them is classic with Gary Gensler from MIT. You can go look. It's section 21. Page 7 of 30. And he makes the comment about how do you bring a new coin into the marketplace and how do you get all the bankers on board? And he says, well, you're going to have to do what this other gentleman did, and you're going to have to give away 50% of your company. Clue number 1, the library lawsuit, which is still in process, but the CEO came forward and said, when he went to start his coin, the first thing that happened is the lawyers showed up from the SEC in the conference room and told him, if you want your company to survive, we need 50% of your coins. Now let's get this clue. 50%, 50%. How much went into escrow, Mel?
50 billion.
50%. 50% of the 100 million. That was the SEC's. But this is prior to the White Hats taking over. I believe this is prior to Brad Garlinghouse taking the role that he is now. And they came up with this ingenious plan to foil the SEC. But it was intended to fool the public. We'll create this thing called an escrow. We'll put the coins in there and we'll hold them for you. And we'll trickle them out every month a little bit. And you'll buy them for, under a penny. And no one will know. No one will have to identify that that was going to you, and they bought it. That was the Lurch trap. So what they thought they owned, they didn't. Now we go to the lawsuit and the very first meeting with Judge Torres. First thing she says, I need some clarification on one item. SEC, you're claiming that all the retail holders and the escrow account were done improperly. And the SEC attorney says, Judge, hold on. No, We have no problem with the secondary purchases of XRP. Our only concern is the escrow. Why? Because they were saying that's ours. We're entitled to that. That was supposed to be for us. Shortly after that meeting, Brad Garlinghouse comes on and he says, you know, if they tell me to burn it all, I'll burn it. That was a shot across the bow from someone I believe got a word from God that said, if I tell you to burn it all down, burn it down. So whatever they thought they were going to get, they'll never get. That's why the show is taking place right now. The SEC's role is like a marshal for somebody in witness protection. They're being protected. That's why we've got all these lawsuits, everything else. And it was really funny. One day I was just sitting there watching a video, and all of a sudden the Lord put this picture of my head, or put a picture in my head of the Grammy announcement. Like, here comes the Grammy Awards. Here's up for Best Actor of the Year. Jim Clayton, Hinman, Gensler, and John Deaton. He's part of it. He's part of the show. There's been comments from other people about his background and how he could be involved. How do you come in and do a class action lawsuit without requiring fees? I don't know a lawyer in the country that would do a class action lawsuit without money. And I'm not questioning John's ethics or anything else. He's a good guy in my mind. But again, that's just another extension of the show. Do I think that there will ever be a settlement? There's no need. Now they're talking about taking it to the Supreme Court. John says the last 5 cases that involve something similar, 4 of them were decided at the Supreme Court level. Well, it's just theater to kick the can down the road. Once the CBS goes off, Mel, the markets are turned off and it's over.
Yeah.
There's no need to settle a case, right?
Sure.
We're already in the quantum financial system at that point through NASARA. The buyback negotiations take place. We already have a white paper that I produced for people that want more in-depth. It's all math. You can go to Twitter at XRP Line 1. You can go to YouTube and type in XRP Line 1. But most of this stuff has been discussed through, you know, our conversations and your show, as well as several others. But we're there. We're there. And when it didn't happen in 2021, with the agreement being, you know, canceled or gotten rid of in October of 21, I knew that we were going to get delayed. And then the Lord said we needed to move NASARA first into the first position, level the playing field for everybody. That way there won't be any resentment for XRP holders when the buyback takes place. But what's this all for? This is for God's kingdom. He's brought heaven to earth. And he is financing the future with everything that he laid up for all of us. And there will come a time when the final wheat from the chaff will be separated. But what's our focus here? Our focus is on creating that solid foundation of information. Susan, Prime, yourself, and other viewers, not to scare people, but to get them ready for this day of Jubilee, this period of eternal Shemitah, where while we were prisoners, we've now been set free, and humanity is the benefactor forever.
Yeah.
So that's topic number 1, and I'll just stop right there for now. And
John,
and I wanted to add one thing. Dave, when you and I have been on shows, some of the audience says, do I have to do a humanitarian project? Why wouldn't you want to? That should be the question. This is a blessing, everyone. You can't pay it forward. You can't think of taking an old lady shopping once a week, or, you know, I don't know.
You know, Donald Trump has a black old lady that lives in one of his buildings, been living there for years and years and years. The mainstream media, shame on you guys. You guys are a bunch of scumbags. I'm going to call you guys out. Okay. All right. You guys are scumbags because you know the story. This lady lives in a really nice apartment in one of his buildings. She's got 3 squares a day. She's got a cleaning lady. She's got a driver. She's got everything. One day, Donald Trump's limousine breaks down on the West Side Highway. Okay, an Arab guy, taxi driver, pulled over, who knows a little bit about mechanics, got the car restarted and went off on his way. They got the guy's name, and Donald Trump pays his mortgage off for $375,000. You won't tell that story either.
No.
You know what I mean?
That's right. And the lady lives in she lives in Trump Towers for the rest of her life, and she gets fresh flowers once a week.
And free. Everything's free.
Amen. Yeah.
Yes,
Free.
Exactly. But John Deaton, in your opinion, Lion, does he know about Jasara Nasara? Does he know that this is Kabuki theater? How much does he know, if anything?
I believe he knows the whole story. He's part of it. So you can't be a player if you haven't been read in.
Gotcha. I know that you're the guy that you've been sanctioned to work with over there at Val Hill Capital knows a lot, because he sort of let the cat out of the bag on one of his interviews not too long ago with one of these young bucks, where he said, "I love to listen to the conspiracy theories. I'm not, I'm not in this ego trip, but I have a feeling that he might listen to me every now and then. I'm not sure, but if he's around, tell him I'd love to have him on the show, because I think that would be a very interesting interview."
That'll happen soon.
Cool. So what else is front and center on the reevaluation? I know there's a lot of news that indicates that there is sort of like jockeying for position over in Iraq with the dinar. Do you guys have any news on that at all?
I don't right now. I know Dr. Kia talks with Mark Z, and he's probably the best person that I know of these days.
Yes, Mark Easy, I love him to death, but Mark, you got to stop with the dates, dude. Drop it. Drop the dates. Do everything you're doing. You're doing everything right. Forget about the dates. As we say in Brooklyn, forget about it. Okay? Right?
Exactly.
I mean, I got Prime Minister smiling. That's pretty hard to do.
Yeah, Prime, what do you say? Because I hear we talk, and we're not really about dates, but you could feel it, the energy mounting.
What do you say? I had a conversation. I'm not saying I got some great intel, but I do know people that know stuff, and I talked to someone who's very important and knows what's up, and he said he definitely confirmed to me that we are in the final moments, final weeks. He said I don't even want to tell you what he told me, but I'm just gonna say it was very soon. So I don't think it's about knowing a date. It's about being ready. I think it's about being ready every day. Every day you should roll out of your bed ready. It's a great responsibility. So I think you should be thinking like like an heir to the kingdom of God, someone who is inheriting tremendous responsibility. The liberation of lost souls all across this planet Earth is a job. So it's not far away for sure. I'm not going to even say
feel it. It's in the air. You know what I mean? But you just can't really pinpoint. But let me ask you guys a question now, and maybe Dave might be able to answer this better than anybody, or maybe Susan as well. You could buy brand new dinars, never circulated, right? And you could buy ones that are exactly like the new ones, except they've been circulated. And I understand from talking to Captain Kyle, but I'm one of these guys, I like to, measure 17 times and cut once, because my wife is going to pull the trigger hopefully today, because we could buy like a stack of these, okay? Instead of buying just a couple of them. If you buy them that they've been, used and moved around, etc. Okay. And they have the same value according to Captain Kyle. What do you say, Dave?
Well, before we get started, I want to be cognizant of what Prime had mentioned in the beginning.
Sure.
Prime, how is your time right now? Do you need to go, or?
Yeah, I don't want to be rude, but I have to get moving, and I wanted to thank you for having me on. It's an honor to meet you, my brother. God bless you.
Yes.
And yeah,
I'm sure
the
this
best
will
is yet to come.
Yeah, I'm sure this will be not the last time you'll be on a show with us.
Not at all. Not
Thank
at
you,
all.
Prime.
Thank you for coming.
God bless you, guy.
Bye,
Thank you,
Prime.
brother.
Bye-bye.
Mother, God bless you.
I'll talk to you.
Thank you. Talk to you, Dave. God bless you, man.
Okay.
So where are you guys on the used dinars, the ones that have been moving around? The exact same bill as the other ones. According to Captain Kyle, he says, don't worry about it. You could buy those. They have the same value. As long as you don't buy the ones with the Saddam Hussein face on it, you're good.
Lion, were you going to answer that first? You were
Well,
starting to.
What I wanted to say was there are people that know. And for probably the majority of people out there, we're getting information. And I'm just going to say there's a lot of conflicting information right now.
Oh, yeah.
And it's hard to know, what's right, what's wrong, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just say this: if you feel compelled to want to purchase a currency that we've named, go to God, talk to Him, find out from Him, because the Word says if you lack wisdom or knowledge, you can go to the Holy Spirit. He will seek out the deep places of the Lord, and He will return with an answer.
Mhm.
He knows, right? This is His system. He's taking us into His kingdom. Who better to know what's valid or what should be done?
Well,
So
if they were invalid, I don't think they would be available. What do you think?
True. And on the tangible side, well, spiritually, I agree with Dave, but on the practical side, I think I would buy both.
Okay,
This way,
just
yeah.
to hedge a bet.
right. I'm a Libra, so that's how we roll.
Got you. My mom is a Libra. She's October 1st.
Yeah, September 29th.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. But that's what I would do because we don't know. And so we don't lose. You don't lose, and we can't be greedy because it's more money than you ever had.
It's not about greed. It's about, the more money we have, the more people we can help. It's not about
Sure.
us. Yes. Are we going to indulge? Am I going to buy maybe a nice watch or two? Yes. I always had wanted some of those things. And maybe we'll grow out of that immaturity because, I understand it's immature. Nobody needs to have a $79,000 watch. That's ridiculous. You can feed a lot of people for $78,000.
Well, they're gonna be a lot more expensive, Mel, after this is all done.
Buy a $9,000 watch and use the other 70,000 to feed a bunch of people, right?
Right. Yeah, definitely. That's what it's all about. But you have to take care of you first and help everybody else. And we know all three of us have a good heart. And
Well,
we're
the
all
important
about
thing,
humanity.
the important thing, Susan, is we have to be healthy because this is going to be a
yeah.
lot of work. People think,
Amen.
okay, we're going to come into this wealth. Yeah, it's true. Money doesn't buy happiness. It doesn't, but definitely will buy a quality of life. And for the people that are unhappy, you're going to be unhappy whether you have money or whether you don't have money. You're going to figure out it's a mindset as far as I'm concerned. I wake up every morning like I win the lottery. I'm singing and I'm, carrying on and I'm being loud and obnoxious. My wife thinks I'm a whack job, but that's okay.
Well, this is what the Lord told me about money. Money buys time.
Yes.
And whose time are we living in and on?
Yeah.
We're living on His time.
Well, He led me over to these machines that, my mom, by being in the environment, the body went to work and she cured herself. Basically, the body cures the body with Dr. Sandra's machines. I believe wholeheartedly that these are the machines that are going to lead us to live, 250, 300 years plus. So even if the med beds take a little while to get here, but we have the technology to live 250 years, that's not bad. It buys us enough time to whenever they get here. But I think those are also very close as well.
That's an amazing story about your mother. And I met Dr. Sandra back in November in Nashville. I was a speaker along with Derek Johnson and others. And she's just amazing. And so is that technology. And I've worked in health and wellness for 35 years. So, and I'm into the holistic products. Until we get on to the next step, we have to take care of our health.
Yeah.
Well, Susan, one of the things that came up in the Intel report just this last week was, and we're not going to go into the redemption center just now. I don't want to stay where we're at, but if you have a terminal illness, you will be able to claim that during the redemption center process, and you will be given an immediate date to go for treatment.
Oh, interesting.
So keep that in mind. It's going to be the terminally ill and the military second.
Yeah. I would think the elderly as well, right, would be first in line.
Well, they're saying you have to have a terminal illness to have like an appointment next week,
Gotcha.
that
Gotcha.
fast.
That's it. And let's not forget, scriptures from the Bible, from God's word too. Apply them with this, it adds that extra added healing because God's a master healer.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, and what's interesting, and this came up the other day, we have a frequency. We resonate a frequency. Now,
Yes.
since the day we were born, we've been bombarded with anti-life frequency. And think of yourself kind of as a piano or a violin. It's out of tune.
Yeah.
And these technologies are designed to bring us back into tune, because there is a sacred vibration that we've lost.
Yeah.
Now imagine as we're moving forward and that frequency is being fine-tuned back to what it originally was.
Yeah.
Like you said, we could live 200 years.
Well, imagine having 100 million new multi-billionaires, right? And everybody buys one 24-unit system and literally carpet bomb the entire earth with this technology.
That's right.
Think about that for a second, because this technology will travel 2.5 miles.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you're like a hotspot.
It's like, yeah, if you got one of these, like when we open up in Chula Vista, I told my partner, says, if your neighbors start to get in the really good mood, it's because of us.
That's cool.
True. Oh, yeah. It's exciting times we live in. And how lucky are we? I mean, it's turbulent, no lie, but it is an exciting time to be alive. And we're all here for a purpose. So,
Yeah. Well, Susan, you're going to come visit me in Space Coast, because I'm opening up in Space Coast towards probably, they're saying end of June, July, but I know they're behind schedule. I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be, August or September. You know what I mean?
Yep, I definitely will. Yeah.
Well, how far are you from Space Coast?
I'm in the Tampa area, so it's about 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours.
Oh, that's not too bad. Absolutely.
Yeah, just go through the turnpike and onto the
Yeah.
other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're doing a month free of charge, so you'll have a reason to drive
Wow.
across the board. Yeah.
I have friends over there.
Yeah. We're
Yeah.
doing a whole month free charge. It's gonna be open. That location will start out as a 24-hour location, 7 days a week.
Well, I need it, Mel. The first 10 years of my son's, well, before my son was killed, I was followed. That's another story, by the deep state. I had Black Hawk helicopters, the DOD, the State Department, all of them following me. The last 2 years of the Bush administration, the entire administration of Obama, because my son worked at Central Command with the generals that ran the Iraq and Afghanistan war. And he had the top secret security. He knew things, and they wanted him to be an officer, and he wouldn't. And there's some things that went on. That's another show.
Maybe we should do a exclusive for Rumble, because
That would
there
be
we can
good,
talk freely.
because it ties into, and that's how I know things are getting ready to happen, because there's a lot of whistleblowers coming out that were tied in. Let's not forget, some of these generals were arms dealers and they were playing both sides. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like that.
Send me an email, qfs1776@gmail, qfs1776@gmail. Send me your telephone number, send me all your contact information. We'll be in touch. We'll do a show for sure.
Yep. Yeah, that's definitely, because my son's death is directly tied in, and he was on the top secret mission. And for all I know, he could have been working with the White Hats. Dave believes it. Yeah. Dave believes it too. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff, Susan, we don't know. There's so much we don't know.
Yeah.
The
I'll just
Army,
tell you. Yeah, I have a lot of PTSD over it, because so the healing thing is, I'm all in, because that's what I love. It's my passion. Yeah.
absolutely. Well, the Army and the Air Force and the Marines and now Space Force, they have access to technology that's at least a couple of 100 years of what we know. okay, ahead of where we're at right now. And they're
Yeah.
very tight-lipped about it. I know that we're once, Nasara, and I still contend that Nasara to be fully implemented. Because look, let's face it, the car has gone off the deep end. We're waiting now to deploy the parachutes, and hopefully we can, soften the crash landings to some extent. But the car has gone off the deep end. Okay.
Yeah, and the military tribunals are just months away from being shown. Isn't it the summer? This summer, with the tribunals?
I'm a firm believer that they're going on, even
Yeah,
though we
well,
can't
no,
see
they
it.
are. Yeah, for them to show us.
Yeah.
It's months away. So they're going on. I know they're
Oh,
going
Well, it's
there's
all
on.
gonna be
being
a-
filmed. It's all being
Yeah.
filmed.
There's going to be a lot of people that are going to literally blow a gasket. Okay.
Oh yeah, and what about the movie stars and the recording people? You don't see them out in the music world as much, or the movie stars. You really don't.
My
They-
friend El Dico, who is a high-powered immigration attorney who lives in
Yeah.
Beverly Hills, verified that yes, 90% of the homes, 80-90% of the homes in Beverly Hills are empty.
Exactly. Yeah, I heard that too. There's somebody that goes on YouTube and shows all these homes and who they belong to, and everything's left behind. Why
Where did
would
they
that?
go?
Where'd they go?
Did
Yeah.
they take them to another planet?
Lake of
Uh,
fire. Lake of fire.
yeah.
Like a fire, hell? They
Lake
took 'em to
Lake of
hell?
fire. Yep. First class ticket.
We should have
Well,
gotten them a bag of marshmallows on the way out.
well, and Dave, what about the minions? Did you go into that on Mel's show about that process?
No, we haven't touched upon that yet, if that's okay.
Sure.
Part of what the Lord revealed just last week, and he used me as an example, just so everybody knows. There is awareness right now that the devil's done, he's gone, and all that are left are a few minions. Well, their task and purpose over time has been to bring offense to us. Now, offense is when we feel in our heart we need to get revenge. They've wronged us, they don't respect us, they don't treat us the way we think we should be treated, etc. There's a great book out there, and I haven't found a book that even discusses this. It's called The Bait of Satan by John Bevere. I read it back in early 2000. And what it points out is if the minions can bring offense and put that in your heart, that separates us from God. Now, that happened to me. And I was like, what is going on? And the Lord said, Dave, I needed you to experience offense and put it in your heart so you could help others understand what it is. And he said, your name can be written in the book of life, but that's no guarantee you're going to go through the quantum financial system at the Redemption Center. It's the minimum amount that separates us from God and can disqualify us. So what do? We have to remain neutral to these attacks, to people popping off and saying stuff about us, about thinking at any point in time about getting back at somebody, revenge, etc. We have to lay all that down. We have to cover it with love. And every single day as we're walking forward in these days and weeks ahead, and it was so cool because the Lord told me it was a breath away. And I'm on the phone with Susan and I'm explaining this to her. And the Lord says to me, I told you just a minute ago, it's a whisper away. And Susan says, that's what he just told me before you said it. So, again, we're not talking about dates. We're talking about events. Focus on events. Okay. The events are taking place. The Redemption Center is real. There's 8 regional call centers. There's 7,000 facilities that are already ready to go. They're not in banks. People are showing up daily, waiting for that button to be flicked, that emergency broadcasting system notice to go off. Our 3 to 10 days of disclosure, not being able to leave our homes for a short period of time, then getting that email from Wells Fargo that tells us call this 800 number. And then we're appointed a time and a day to show up to this place within 50 miles of our house. And it doesn't matter where you are in the country. This came up with Susan the other day because she travels. Wherever you are, you're going to give them that zip code. So if you live in New York and you're in California, when you get the email, you're not going to be able to move. You're not going to be able to leave. So you're going to tell them I'm in X, and they're going to find something right there, take care of you. So
What
there's
if you
no
live in Costa Rica?
Well, then it's going to be in Costa Rica.
There's going to be redemption centers in Costa Rica.
There already are.
Okay.
So in less populated areas, there wasn't a big need for them. In more populated areas, there's more.
Yeah.
We don't know the distribution, but there's one, Mel, within 50 miles of you.
Yeah. Are you going to the XRP convention May 5th, May 6th in Vegas? I think there's like a 90% chance I'm going.
Yes, I will be there. I will be there.
Okay, cool. This is going to be exciting. I know there's going to be a few people there. Yeah. Hey, this was great. I'm going to cut it off right about here. Susan,
Yeah.
it was a pleasure meeting you.
Me
I'm actually going to
too.
hit the pause button. I'm going to hold you guys over for a little bit. We can chat privately.
Sure.
And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Remember, you are the digital soldier. Nothing happens here with a digital soldier, in my opinion, is the most important aspect of the piece of the puzzle. Go ahead, Dave.
No, I was just giving some people some visuals. Keep in perspective what this is all about. When
Yes,
when
get
when you
ready
know,
and-
you know. When you know, you know.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dave.
You're going to wake up one morning and it's going to be like, hey, holy cannoli, it's here. Done. Thank you, guys. We'll catch you in the next one.
Thank you.